Chapter 20 of GOLDRATT'S, the goal. This chapter is very straightforward. You're going to start at the plant. Rogo is in the plant. He's again working on how to optimize throughput and how to create change. And at the end of the chapter, he goes to visit his wife. He's still looking to reconcile with Julie. There's a great quote early on in this chapter, page 163, where Donovan, the plant controller, says to Rogo, "Why don't we go ahead with the easier things right away and see what kind of effect they have while we're developing the others?" And this is a great approach to change management. I'm sure many of you have attempted it. But if you've got a culture where you're looking to get people to do things differently, you're looking to get people to take a fresh approach, finding a way to get early and quick wins is really important. It lets people see that the method isn't all that hard. It lets people see that their individual efforts can make a difference, can make a difference with customers. So I love that quote from Donovan. Early on in the chapter, before that quote, you get a really painful note from Rogo's mother-in-law, so Julie's mom. He's calling, trying to track her down, and if you remember in an earlier chapter, the mother-in-law was trying to hide Julie while she had gone home to stay there. But mother-in-law says, if you hadn't neglected her all these years, you wouldn't be in this situation. And that really plays into the theme of change management here too. As an older guy who likes doing yoga, one of the yoga instructors I like says, it took you 20 years to get into this situation where you're not very flexible and very movable. It's gonna take more than just one day to get out of it, but you start with what you can do. So if you can move a little, that's great. Move a little every day until you learn how to move a lot. There's a lot of overlap you'll see throughout the book in what Goldratt puts our protagonist, the situations, in his personal life and his professional life. He talks about, Donovan saying we were building inventory to maintain efficiencies. Again, we know efficiencies are a vanity metric. Who cares about the efficiency? What we care about is profitability at the plant level. They've really elevated this throughput question as the main priority. And by doing that, it creates clarity for everyone in the organization. At the end, when they're looking to reconcile, in the same way that Peach was really crisp with Rogo of, you got to get this plant moving, otherwise people are going to lose jobs. Rogo is similarly very blunt with Julie. He looks at her and says, the longer you stay away, the more we're going to drift apart from each other and toward a divorce. There's a real refreshing approach here in this. Just say what you think. Through all of this, Goldratt does a great job of freeing his narrator and freeing the people around the narrator. All these characters speak their mind. So there's not kind of a culture of hesitation, or there's definitely a culture where people aren't afraid to say what they mean in order of improving their company. These aren't people with kind of petty agendas. They're all working towards the same goal. Chapter 20, you're halfway done with a goal. Go pick up your real copy, go read it yourself, go listen to it. The Audible version's great. There is also the comic book version, also great. My kids loved it. But this chapter, I think, with Donovan's quote, just does a great job of teeing up how important change management is and how vital it can be for teams to get small wins early and how much that can do to creating lasting cultural change.